Bharatiya Janata Party, and even the Congress has put out this tweet condoling the death, and other political leaders such as Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy have also put out a tweet condoling the demise of Arun Jaitley. Mamata Banerjee is another prominent leader who has tweeted about the sad demise of Arun Jaitley at a relatively young age of 66. And Amit Shah, the Home Minister of India, Smriti also paid her tributes to Arun Jaitley. Anurag Thakur is another prominent leader within the BJP who has described Arun Jaitley as a fatherly figure. And Amit Shah stating, Arun Jaitley ji ke nidhan se atyant dukhi hoon. And Smriti Irani there paying her tribute. And Arun Jaitley was one of those rare breed of leaders who had a working relationship with everyone. And as lawyer and veteran Congress leader Ashwani Kumar a little while back described him an Ajat Shatru who did not have enemies despite the bitter political times that we live in, despite the extremely polarizing political times we live in. It was Arun Jaitley who had a good working relationship with members of the opposition, who could in fact share a lighter moment with the leaders of the opposition. And that in many ways will be one of his defining legacies as India looks back at one of the sharpest minds that India has produced in our contemporary present times. Arun Jaitley, the man who's defended the Bharatiya Janata Party's position time and again inside of the parliament, in television debates, and one of the most articulate, one of the most erudite, intellectual individuals within the Bharatiya Janata Party. At the time, there was criticism that Bharatiya Janata Party was a little weak in terms of the intellectual heft that it could actually present. It was Arun Jaitley who always stood up to the challenge, winning debate after debate in many of these television debates and also on the floor of the parliament. Someone that the Bharatiya Janata Party had relied on over the years, and one of the sharpest minds, one of the sharpest strategists that the Bharatiya Janata Party had relied on, someone who could don many different hats for the Bharatiya Janata Party, is now no more. He had been ailing after he had had a kidney transplant. He'd been incapacitated to an extent that he was not able to present the budget earlier this year. It was Piyush Goyal who had presented the budget in his stead. And when the Bharatiya Janata Party, of course, made a thumping return to power in the general elections of 2019, Arun Jaitley had written to the Prime Minister expressly requesting that he not be entrusted with any government responsibility anymore, as his ill health was failing him. And this of course is going to be not just for the Bharatiya Janata Party, which now in many ways will feel Arun Jaitley ji was a political giant, a tough legal luminary. He was an articulate leader who made a lasting contribution to India. His party condolences. Om Shanti. This is the tweet that has been put out by the Indian Prime Minister, who is presently in the United Arab Emirates. And this of course is going to be a huge loss for the people of India. Political ideologies aside, it was Arun Jaitley who was viewed as an intellectual and a gentleman parliamentarian, someone who was a bit of a rarity in the bitter polarizing times that we live in, someone who is seen as a mentor. There are other younger leaders who have described him as a fatherly figure for the way that Arun Jaitley would go out of his way to help him out. And these are of course some of the older pictures of Arun Jaitley from younger times when he enjoyed much better health, one would say, during the time of the Vajpayee there. And in many ways this of course is going to be a huge loss for the nation as a whole, and the shoes that Arun Jaitley now leaves will be extremely large ones for any other party leader within the Bharatiya Janata Party to fill in. Someone who was such an articulate speaker, mind, and someone who had in many ways influenced so many younger leaders of India, in many ways pushing the narrative of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And this, of course, is another tweet that's been put out by the Indian Prime Minister, where he states, and I quote him here, "Full of life, blessed with wit, a great sense of humour and charisma, Arun Jaitley ji was admired by people across all sections of society. He was multifaceted, having an impeccable knowledge about India's constitution, its history, its public policy, governance and administration." That is, of course, the tweet put out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I'm also told